Imagine going on a hiking trip with 8 of your closest friends, deep into the frozen mountains of the Soviet Union. You are all experienced, well-trained, prepared for the harsh winter. You have enough food, enough equipment, and a clear plan to return home. But you never come back. Weeks later, rescue teams finally discover your campsite. At first, everything looks normal, until they notice something impossible. The tent has been sliced open from the inside, not the outside. The inside. Why would experienced hikers cut their own tent open in the middle of a freezing night, when temperatures had dropped below -30 degrees Celsius? Before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating history stories. Because today, we're uncovering one of history's most terrifying unsolved mysteries, the Dyatlov Pass Incident. Our story begins in January 1959. 9 young hikers, most of them students from the Ural Polytechnic Institute, set out on an expedition across the Ural Mountains in the Soviet Union. Their leader was Igor Dyatlov, an experienced mountaineer respected by everyone in the group. The journey wasn't meant to be easy. They planned to cross one of the most dangerous mountain routes in the region. But every member of the team had completed difficult expeditions before. They knew exactly what they were doing. For several days, everything went according to plan. The hikers laughed, took photographs, wrote journal entries, and even joked with each other despite the brutal weather. Nothing suggested that disaster was approaching. Then, on February 1st, they reached the eastern slope of a mountain known by the local Mansi people as Kholat Syakhl. Its name has often been translated as Dead Mountain. Whether that name was simply a coincidence or something more, people still debate today. Instead of moving into the nearby forest for shelter, the group pitched their tent on the exposed mountainside. It wasn't the safest place to spend the night, but experienced hikers sometimes made similar decisions to save time the following morning. That evening, someone took the final known photograph of the group. No one in the picture knew. It would become one of the last images ever taken of them. Then, silence. Days passed. The hikers never returned. At first, friends assumed they had simply been delayed by bad weather. But when even more time passed, search teams were finally sent into the mountains. What they found would become one of the greatest mysteries in modern history. The rescuers reached the campsite, expecting to find 9 exhausted hikers. Instead, they found an empty tent. The snow had partially buried it. Inside, their boots, jackets, food, cameras, and personal belongings were still there. But something immediately caught everyone's attention. The tent hadn't been opened through the entrance. It had been cut open from the inside, as if the hikers had been desperate to escape. Within seconds, outside, a single line of footprints led away from the tent. Some footprints belonged to people wearing only socks. Others were completely barefoot. Imagine walking barefoot through deep snow, in temperatures colder than -30 degrees Celsius. Whatever had terrified them, it was apparently worse than freezing to death. About a mile away, beneath a large cedar tree, searchers found the first 2 bodies. They wore almost no clothing. Nearby, the remains of a small campfire suggested they had desperately tried to stay warm. But the mystery only became stranger. Between the tree and the tent, 3 more bodies were discovered, including Igor Dyatlov himself. It looked as though they had been trying to return to the tent, but collapsed before they could make it. Weeks later, after the snow began to melt, the final 4 hikers were finally found inside a nearby ravine. Their injuries shocked investigators. One had a fractured skull. Several had massive chest injuries. One woman, Ludmila Dubinina, was missing her tongue. Yet strangely, there were very few external wounds. Some experts later compared the injuries to those seen in serious car crashes. But there had been no vehicles, no explosions, and no obvious signs of a fight. Then investigators noticed something even more unusual. Some of the victims' clothing showed traces of radioactive contamination. Not enough to explain what happened, but enough to create even more questions. Soon, the theories began. Was it an avalanche? Some scientists believed the hikers heard snow shifting above them, panicked, and fled the tent. Others argue the slope wasn't steep enough for a major avalanche. Could it have been military testing? The Soviet Union conducted secret weapons experiments. Some witnesses even reported seeing mysterious orange lights in the sky around the same time. Others suggested infrasound, a rare natural phenomenon caused by strong winds, may have triggered overwhelming panic. And of course, the strangest theories appeared too. Yeti attacks, aliens, secret government experiments, even supernatural forces. Decades passed. The Soviet investigation ended with a mysterious conclusion. The hikers died because of an unknown compelling force. No further explanation was given. In 2019, Russian authorities reopened the case. After a new investigation, they concluded that a slab avalanche was the most likely explanation. Some scientists agreed. Others remained unconvinced. Even today, many questions remain unanswered. Why was the tent cut from the inside? Why did experienced hikers leave without proper clothing? Why were some injuries so severe? And why has this case continued to fascinate the world for more than 60 years? Perhaps we'll never know the complete truth. But that's exactly why the Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of history's greatest mysteries. Sometimes, history doesn't leave us with answers. It leaves us with questions. So, what do you think happened on that freezing mountain? Was it simply a tragic natural disaster? Or is there still something we're missing? Let me know your theory in the comments. If you enjoyed this mystery, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another incredible journey through history. Because history isn't only about kings and battles. It's also about the mysteries, the disappearances, and the unanswered questions that continue to haunt us to this day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.